Welcome back, folks, to another budget gem or budget bust. Today I've got an amplifier for you today that comes from Lanzar. It is the Vibe 1000.1D, which is their purely budget level stuff. Those of you that know Lanzar and are in the bass community kind of know the old saying that is, if you're talking about Lanzar, if you're talking about OptiDrive, even in the pyramid-owned days, aka Sounds Around, the Opti stuff has remained pretty decent quality gear. Everything else in the community we've said just stay the heck away from. It's not exactly what you want. And we're going to find out, is that actually a true statement or is it not? This amplifier here caught my attention because I'm going to bring you guys back roughly 20 years. And around 98, 99, Lanzar came out with a Vibe Pro 1200.1D, which came out and you could buy for around $200 and was honestly the very first budget amp that I know of that you could get 1,000 watts for about $200. I mean, now you can get 2,000 watts all day for around $200, but at that time that was like huge because Class D finally came in, and the AB high currents were still battling out with the Class D amps. Class D still had a little bit of a price advantage, where you could get like a Memphis 1000D for around $400. And then the Lanzar came out, and at $200, pretty much reset the market. A lot of people picked up on those Vibe 1200s. CA&E, Car Audios and Electronics, they're the ones that did the bench test at over 1,000 watts. And really, that kind of solidified that bass amps in the future were going to be Class D because of the cost savings and the current requirements. So, with that being said, I want to see how the current versions of these Vibe amps are doing. This amp I picked up on eBay for a whopping $79. It is a refurbished model. Lanzar, when they refurbish amps, they pretty much take the old circuit board out, put the new circuit board in, and away you go. They're not in there resoldering and fixing MOSFETs or anything like that. So I feel pretty comfortable that what is in here is going to be representative of what you get even with a brand new one, with the exception of a little bit of a beat up box. So we're going to jump in, we're going to unbox and find out what comes with the amplifier, and then we're going to strap it up to the trusty amp dyno, and we are going to find out just how much power this amplifier provides. So let's just jump right in and open her up. Okay, opening her up. And first thing we get is our limited warranty card and our owner's manual. Let's find out the old speckaroonies here. And of course we have the Vibe 1000.1D. Can't read that, so I'll just read it to you. And it is rated RMS power into 4 ohms, 200 watts, 2 ohms, 350 watts, 1.3 ohms, 600 watts. Why 1.3? I don't know. We did the 1400D. It really needed the Opti 1400D. It really needed the 1 ohm number to hit its RMS, so maybe that's the way here. Max power 1000 watts into 1.3, so I don't think we're going to see the 1000 watts. They're bridgeable. Yeah, so 2 30 amp fuses. So expect this to be somewhere in that 5, 4, 3, how many watt range this is. It's a Vibe. Vibe remote control. Let's see what this looks like. All right. So these Vibe remotes are pretty much exactly the same as you get in OptiDrive. Full metal too. Potentiometer on there is kind of cheap feeling, just like they are on the Vibes. A couple of screws to hold on the remote. Cable for said remote. A couple of Allen keys. Must have gotten a little loose in the box. Some more screws for the amp. And one amplifier. Ooh. It's actually not a bad looking amp. Come on. Get your butt out of the plastic. And I wasn't expecting this. Good old made in Korea sticker right there. So these might be made in the same factory as the OptiDrives. Yeah, looks fairly familiar. So not a bad looking amp. Let's check out the sides. Along this side of the amplifier, we find our power and ground input terminals, as well as our fuses and our remote output for our bass knob. Power and ground have fairly nice looking 4-gauge terminals here, with an 8-gauge remote wire in case you really need 8-gauge for a remote wire. The fuses are our first sign that this is not going to be a 1000-watt amplifier. We've only got 30 amps of fusing, which does though put it in line with the 600 watts that the amp is rated for RMS. Of course, we'll find that out in a minute, what it really does. Along this side of the amplifier, we find all of our settings, as well as our speaker output terminals, which are right here and are in fact 8-gauge. The amplifier does have RCA inputs and outputs. It is strappable via the data link cable right here in our master slave switch. Your gain control is right here. It does have a subsonic filter, which is adjustable from 15 to 40 hertz. A low pass filter adjustable from 150 hertz down to 50 hertz. A phase shift, and a stupid bass boost that you shouldn't ever touch or use. And of course, regular power protect lights. There's no clip indicators or anything like that with the amplifier. But for $79 to be able to strap two of these together, that's not bad value. Okay, opening her up. And we've got a not a world-beating circuit board design here, but certainly I've seen a lot worse than this. We have the caps that look to be a decent brand. They're Luxon brand. They are 63 volt, 2200 microfarad, 85 degree caps. Everything seems okay. They could have used a little bit more silicone on there to, kind of hold everything down. But for the most part, it's not bad. Again, you can buy this thing for under $100. So I mean, really, how amazing are we supposed to get here? The FETs look to be, they got a pretty good heatsink on the FETs, so that's nice. Again, really can't see anything to really harp on here, so not too shabby. It does come with a fan as well. That connects right here. Alright, nothing left to do here but to strap up the Lanzar Vibe 1000.1D up to the trusty amp dyno and find out just how much power this Korean-made amplifier actually does. I don't know about this one. It looks okay, but it's still Lanzar Vibe. I don't know. I'm really interested in finding out what the results are. So I'll see you after the test. Alright folks, final thoughts here. Lanzar Vibe 1000.1D. We just saw the numbers here. As you saw, at 4 ohms, the amp did over its rated number. It did over 220 watts, where it was rated at 200 watts. Exceeded again at the 2 ohm number, rated at 350. Certified exceeded that up to like 380. I think uncertified we got over 400. Dynamically as well. Where it gets a little tricky is the 1.33 ohm rating. And again, as I said in the Lanzar Opti 1400.1D, I don't know if these 1.33 numbers are really supposed to be the 1 ohm number. Lanzar gets funky with these 1.33 ratings, but it missed its 1.33 rating. It did like 550 watts uncertified, if I remember correctly, and a little bit less than that certified. But it did exceed its 600 watts RMS number at 1 ohm. So even though it's rated at 600 watts at 1.33 ohms, if you actually drop it down to 1 ohm, like you probably should anyway, it exceeded the 600 watts, both uncertified, certified, and dynamically. I mean, uncertified, we got closer to 700 watts. And then, for giggles, I wanted to see if I could make this 1000 watts written on the amplifier become actually a true statement. And lo and behold, at 0.5 ohms, 1000 watts became real. So, with that being said, and with this amp being only $79 as a refurb, imagine if you got a non-refurb, you'd probably still be around $100. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna call this amp a budget gem. Settled. I don't really love all the writing all over it, but I certainly don't love the 1000.1D and the 1000 watts if it's not going to do it at 1 ohm. But the ratings were fairly truthful, with the exception of the 1.33. It's a heavy amplifier. It's got a decent build quality to it. It's strappable. I mean, for honestly $79 to get a Korean-made amplifier that does these numbers, I think you'd be hard-pressed out there to find another one, especially one feature to feature. So, I'm surprised. I thought I was going to see a pyramid level, boss level amplifier, because we'd always said in the bass community, you know, Lanzar Optis, they're decent stuff. Anything else Lanzar, just stay the hell away from. And that's not the case. This thing actually performed really well. So, nice job, Lanzar. So, folks, if you're out there and you're in the market for a sub $100 amplifier that you want to run around 1 ohms and you need like 600 watts, don't be afraid of the Lanzar Vibe 1000.1D. Very, very nice job. So that's it for me, folks. I got a lot more amps to test. I'll see you next time.